Hello and welcome back. Another episode of Drinks and Discussions, the RPG podcast, back into the miniseries hosted by my friend and fellow battle buddy, a D6. Woo!
Howdy.
And joined today by both myself and our other battle buddy, Smudge, otherwise known as Mr. Pickles. Hello, Mr. Pickles. Welcome.
That's me.
Before we kick things off, we are going to be heading into the miniseries today, which means the D6 is going to be taking over the show and running this for us. But before we do, quick word from one of our sponsors. We're going to talk to Whiskey Sips with the D's.
Oh, hey there. Are you feeling down and you need a drink? Well, I'm here for you. So today, I'm drinking a Teeling whiskey. It's a single pot still. It's an Irish whiskey, and it is cask strength, so this could get interesting.
It's about to be a fun session.
This is about to be fun.
Good.
Yeah, so single pot still means that it is distilled in the old Irish fashion of using a little bit of unmalted barley in the mix, and that's due to the original taxation that was coming in from England on malted barley. So in order to circumvent the crown's taxes, they would throw a little bit of unmalted barley into the mix, and gives it a signature kind of shortbready sort of sweet note to it. This one's cask strength, so let me see what the percentage is. 55% alcohol by volume. So it's not been watered down to the typical 40% that most whiskeys will stay at. That's some people feel that it brings out the flavor of the whiskey more because you're not watering down some of those flavors. But it is certainly a bit more of a kick in the pants and a bit more bite on the mouth that you kind of have to work your way around. But I enjoy it. I have a couple different cask strengths that I drink, but mainly because if I find a whiskey that I like to try it in multiple different ways. So one of the different ways that you can try one of your favorite whiskeys is through a cask strength to see what it tastes like without all the water added into it.
I was just thinking something, and I'll pitch this in the Discord so we can actually talk about it, but I'm going to say it here before I forget. I wrote it down because I forget everything. I was thinking we should have monthly sponsors, and basically, so Whiskey Sips with the D's would be one time per month, right? And then,
And I took that personally.
Thank you.
Strange kind of personally.
Yeah, and I took that personally. It would be one time a month, and then whatever else, right? And that way, each week there's something different. Then, each month you would get your slot to shout out. And then if I ever make it big and actually have some money, ever, I think it would be cool to do the Whiskey Sips to order bottles and have each one of us have a bottle. Don't get $1,000 bottles for me, please. But if you're hey, here's $50 bottle or something, get one of those for each of us. And that way, when you're talking about it, we can just try it and do the whiskey tasting and have a sip. Now, the only caveat to this is Pickles doesn't like whiskey.
I like the feel in my tummy, but yeah. I'm with spirits. Spirits don't like me, so I have to be very careful around them. But also, every time I drink spirits, my face just screws. I just go
But this is why I think it would be...
I'm fine.
Remember when we had talks about, what is D&D or what is tabletop RPGs, and we talked about the fantasy aspect, and Pickles was well, I don't like fantasy, maybe I shouldn't be a part of this podcast. And we're no, it's great that you're here because you have a different perspective, a different viewpoint on things. So, even with the whiskey, you're an expert connoisseur, I'm a wannabe connoisseur, and Pickles doesn't want to be a connoisseur. So, it's three different perspectives that would be really cool to have. So I was thinking that would be a cool thing to do, once per month, order bottles for everyone, and that's what we try. And then, if Pickles doesn't like it, he can give it away as a gift. Be I had one sip, here's the rest of a bottle.
My wife.
Your wife likes them?
My wife is home. And yeah, she does like whiskey, but
Hi,
not,
wife,
like,
and congrats,
massive
wife.
quantities.
Well, I mean, she doesn't need to chug it. She could drink it whenever as she pleases.
She can sip it.
Yeah. Like, here, wife, you have to chug it.
Finish it. Finish it.
But my wife is home, so I'll be right back in just a minute or two.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Edward 40 hands with a whiskey bottle.
Someone came into my stream as of like a second ago, says they've been enjoying my streams even though they've never been to one, never sent a message. But they want to tell me how I should improve and change my stream to be better because it's not good enough. Cool, ban. How does it look now? Does it look really good now? I bet it looks great now. Ha! Nerd.
Nerd.
Anywho, so that's Whiskey Sips with the Deist. Might be expanding and getting its own like actual segment come soon. I mean, you have a segment, but I mean like a legit like 1 time per month like big deal segment. I think that'd be really cool. Plus, we used to do well. You guys did a little bit for a while, whiskey tasting nights online.
Oh yeah, we would do get together and have whiskey tastings with the group of friends out here.
Yeah, I joined for like 1, and then I noticed there was more going on with people that don't like me, and I wasn't being invited anymore. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I was thinking we could bring it back and do something like that. Have you heard from Tough Nuts? Is he still around? Pickles and I were talking about him today, and he was like, I haven't heard anything. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, he's doing good. Got busy with the Hardcore WoW that just released on I think it was Friday of last week.
Okay, you been in that as well?
Trying to.
No? Busy?
Busy.
How's it going with the? Am I allowed to bring up the new interest in your life?
It was. I mean,
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think things were good. I think we had a good date yesterday, and
good.
Yeah.
If you ever need a reference, you can give her my number. I will give you nothing but standing ovation.
Okay.
Yeah. I will
Duly noted.
I will stand up and twerk until my butt cheeks clap, and I'll throw it in a circle so it's a round of applause. Throw that ass in a circle. Throw that ass in a circle.
Oh, it back now, yo.
You might want to call Pickles instead. His would be probably more appropriate.
No,
Probably.
It's going to be very cryptic and haunting, and she'll be like, wait.
What?
These are your friends?
Adis is a friend who claims that he's helping Adis not have demons inside of him.
I don't know about this
like,
anymore.
No, I meant like we're trying to
guy.
like exercise our demons playing these games on the tabletop. She didn't understand me.
Maybe don't.
Maybe. You're on the waiting list.
Yeah. And with that, without any further ado's, we are going to throw it off to Adis to run the miniseries in the Drinks and Discussions RPG podcast series. So, sit down, buckle up, enjoy, have a drink, and settle in for an enjoyable next hour. Off to you, Adis.
Alrighty. Well, last time, does anybody want to do recap?
Ooh, Pickles, you want to take this one?
Yeah.
I feel like you never get to do recaps.
Oh shit!
You want to tag team?
Notes are really cryptic here.
We started out in. I'll talk about the first episode. You talk about the second episode.
I'd rather talk about the first episode.
Really?
That's where my notes make more sense, actually.
Okay. You talk about the first. I'll talk about the second, but let's make it brief.
Yes. Okay. And I only have a few lines here. So we are 2 mercenaries in a town previously run by some other storyteller, a hack most likely. My camera will be turned around once my wife. It's the normal thing we're doing now. She walks by to use the shower. Anyways.
Yeah, let's do more sessions where we talk about Pickle's naked wife.
Yeah. No. Anyways,
I cut that all out of the other one.
Good. You'll have to do that again.
Yeah.
So we are in this town that is leftovers of something that I made as a joke, and we are a mercenary company joining in with another mercenary company in this area that likely uses the lumber of this place to build or manufacture their very high tech cargo carrying carriages. They're almost like tanks, and in fact, it's called the Trekker 3000. It's got ballista, it's got armor, it's got heavy engineering. And our boss is either an illusionist or a diviner. They have a lot of those spells involved with having magical screens that can emit like visions from afar. They've got magic mirrors in a sense. In a sense, we have Joseph O'Leary, which I just had dash great voice. I believe that was our no, Dan is our dwarven engineer.
Joseph O'Leary is the taskmaster.
That's right. I'm gonna add that note. Taskmaster. Well, signed. We have a good kitchen. We are taking human cargo. We're not human traffickers. We are a transport of humans to another settlement. And that's the first segment. And I guess things started to get weird there because my notes start saying that we were going down a slope and I had to wake you up because you were getting sleepy. And...
Okay. So the second episode, I was rolling very poorly, and I am the coachman. I'm playing Solomon, who is the coachman. He drives the carriage that we're on. I am a housecarl or servant to my summoner. More on that later. Morgan, who is a fire witch of sorts. And so we took off on the trail, following the trail, letting the horses, who have done this trek many times, kind of take the lead. And by that I mean I was doing terribly and fell asleep at the helm while the horses led. We went down in a switchback into the valley where it eventually took us to a green pasture type field. We decided to pull off there and take a quick break. We'd been on the road for a little bit, so we took a quick break there. During the break, I set out to. Was I taking the horses to water?
Right. Yeah, that's what. Well, I wrote that you were a psycho killer.
Wow.
Eating raw meat.
I took the horses out to get some water, and while I was there, I noticed a deer.
Elk. Yeah,
elk. Okay, yeah, I noticed it. Sorry, I lost my notes. I've got new notepads over here, and I don't know what happened to my last notepad, so I'm going off the rip here. So I noticed an elk, and I decided to hunt it because my guy needed to feast. It had been a while, and he was struggling. So, oh, by the way, I'm undead. But anyway, I needed to feast, so I hunted this elk down. Basically pounced on it and snapped its neck, ripped its head off, and began to feast. While feasting, I noticed I was being watched by Morgan, who had trailed me, saw what had happened, and came up to join me. Basically, I made an offering of the rest of the elk, excuse me, to the carriage and to my fire witch / cook, Morgan. So she's making a bunch of meals of it for the people, and we're actually utilizing it. So it turned out well. And I believe I've now got an elk-mounted head at the helm of the carriage. I think that was basically the summarize. Yeah, thank you. Of the I was like, well, there's a word there I'm missing. Of the second episode, we got back to the carriage, and we were basically packing up to get back on the road. I think Granny, old lady. I don't know if we've ever gotten her name. We need to meet our people. We're terrible. The Granny had gone pee, so that was the other highlight of the episode. Anyway, I don't think it was on the floorboards. Pickles told her to pee on the floorboard, but
yeah. Man, this is where the adventure started to take a direction where things got a little stranger. So my notes, when I don't know what's going on, is just like Solomon being a psycho and tearing apart an animal. And it's like, never. Okay, so what? I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't sound right. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly.
But that's also the point. I mean, you write down things so that way, like later, pieces might fall into place. You'd be like, oh, remember that time? This connects. Like, hey, remember that time Dibbs was talking about his dad? He mentioned Atlas. Now you're mentioning Atlas. Maybe those are tied together.
Okay, well, we two can play at this game, so. But yeah, we ended it with, we were getting back into the carriage tank.
Yep. You guys were hooking the horses back up and starting to get ready to go back out on the road.
Heck yes.
And with that, so as you guys get back to your carriage and you get the horses hooked back up, all the I assume Morgan is doing the rounds to round everybody, all the customers, back up into the wagon.
Yes.
And start to
if anybody disagrees, I give them a little spritz of like a little ember.
Yeah,
like on their arm.
Light a fire under their ass.
Well, in a very
just spits
more
a coal
way,
into
hopefully.
their mouth.
Just like spit a little burning ember, like if they're fighting me. Hopefully, nobody's fighting me.
No, they're pretty much following along with instructions. Granny's the last one to get on. Makes her way on. Oh, thank you, dearie. And
get on quicker.
You're welcome.
And all right, and so we're taking our places back up onto the rig and moving out. Anything you guys want to do before we get back on the road?
Yes.
Okay, Morgan, what would you like to do?
I want to make it so it's easier for me to go from the cooking area within the carriage of our caravan up to that little window where I peeked out to see that my driver had fallen asleep.
Just blast a hole through the...
Is there like a way that I can make it easier to climb up quickly, like or is there already like a ladder there?
So there is a ladder there, yeah. So there's a ladder up to like a little hatch.
Okay.
Would you like to do something else with it? Maybe like a little sliding porthole sort of thing or something like that?
Oh wow, a sliding porthole would be better than a hatch.
Okay.
So good that I get to do this.
Hey, it's Pickles.
Yeah, here.
All right.
Yeah. Well, there's no way that I can do that though, because I'm not an engineering character. But I know Dan is an engineer. So I would approach him probably. Is he within like does he have his own office in the back like end of our carriage, or
you see he has like a little workbench in the back where he has just like it's not much of a workbench. It's like maybe the size of a school desk with a couple of tools hanging from a little hanger on the back.
I approach him, and before he can even say anything, I'm immediately talking. I say, "Okay, Dan. So we need a fix to a problem. I need to know if you're able to do things on the fly here. Your tools, they seem sparse."
Well, yes, that's quite the case, I believe.
Okay.
What do you need?
Well, I need for you to make the hatch that goes to the driver's area from my end over there. I point to the hatch I'm talking about. Make it go really quick. Like maybe if you could make it just slide so I can slam it open.
Slam it open. I see. Well,
whatever makes it quick.
Makes it quick. Let me see what I can come up with. Do you need to roll for me, Dan? Do you need me to get you all the way up into the front, or do you just need a little access hole to talk between the two of you?
Access hole to talk between us. That's a good one. But also, I want to make it so I can. Last time I had to do the hatch and everything, and it was slow. And I really wish there was a quicker way to do that. But nothing with springs. I don't trust springs. So if you're thinking about having a springy platform that throws me up there, no, immediately out of the question.
All right. What are your thoughts on What are your thoughts on elevators? Pulley systems in the
back at that. I look back at the ladder. Is it that like high?
No, I don't know why you need one. If you want one,
would be really funny to take an elevator up like 3 feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You have to like
you can
step. It's just super slow, so you just like have to wait for it. Like, come on.
Even slower than the method before. I could climb the ladder faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only about like 7 feet that you're.
That's great.
Okay, yeah, I can climb 7 feet. If you can make that porthole access better so that I can communicate with my driver, Solomon, I would greatly appreciate it. Yes, Solomon.
I think I might be able to do that. And he grabs a little skill saw, and he grabs just some like brass frames that he has laying around, and he walks up. He goes up the ladder, opens the hatch to call down to Solomon. Solomon, I'm about to start cutting behind you, so stay to the front of your seat.
Front of the seat. Fair enough.
Don't want any blades in your back. And then he scurries back down the ladder.
Is this built for Solomon's size, though?
No, it's like a one person fits all sort of thing. So you're kind of squeezing to the front of the edge of the driver's seat. And
I'll just stand up, like hold on to it. I'm like, what?
And you see and you start to hear from behind the wall a noise as the inside, Morgan, you can see the skill saw starts up, and Solomon, you see the saw blade cut through the thing.
Oh.
It's a very interesting little saw. It looks like it's powered by some sort of like crystalline structure, but it vibrates back and forth very quickly and cuts a little porthole, about 1 foot by 2 foot, little window to the front driver's area from the cooking station. And he affixes a couple of frames to the edges, and then uses the piece that he cut out to make a little like sliding door hatch that you can open and close.
Oh, hell yeah.
What are we doing?
I pull it open. Test it, I guess. If he gives me the okay, then sorry.
He just like kind of looks at you. Will that do what you needed to?
Let me give it a try. I pull it open. Hey, Solomon.
Yes.
Why? Okay, Dan, I have another project for you while we're traveling.
Why? What do you need me to start working on?
You need to vastly increase how big this seating area is. You see my guy here? He takes up tons of space.
Is that a fat joke?
2 squares. No, you're freaking awesome at a giant skeleton thing that I.
Not a skeleton.
I know that somebody accidentally raised you, and so I've just been caring for you since.
Not a skeleton. You've seen my picture.
I've got a skeleton.
we all have skeletons. It's just that his is showing, and his is very helpful. And
still not a skeleton. You've seen my picture. You forget what I look like, Pickles?
I did forget what you look like.
Because I am not a skeleton. I can't pull it out because I'm using a stream for this, but...
Alright. But anyways, Dan...
Oh, yeah, well, skeleton is just my joke, I guess.
Where do we post that under? Is that under Battle Buddies?
Might be under Battle Buddies.
I'll see if I can find it while we go. Keep going.
But anyways,
I vaguely recall it, I think.
Dan kind of nods. He's like, I think I might be able to do something at the next stop that we have.
Yeah, not during the day while it's going. That might be a little bit difficult for him to steer if you're actively working on it.
Might be a bit tricky for him. Anyways, I'll start drafting up some plans for it. And he kind of makes his way back to his little station and starts pulling out a little piece of paper and starts jotting down some notes on it. All right. Anything else you guys want to do before we head out?
I'm good.
All good. All right.
Think about how he's not at all a skeleton.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You're like, my buddy is also a skeleton. I was like, I'm not a skeleton. He has a skeleton showing. No, I don't.
Now it just feels like I'm fat phobic or something. That's not Morgan.
You're like, yeah, he's so scrawny.
So, Solomon starts to prod the horses. They start to get into their gait. The carriage lurches forward slightly. Still a low-hanging mist just at about halfway up the trees. And as you make your way through the rest of the the kind of open area, and it starts to funnel in back into a kind of more wood. The woods kind of start to close back around the path that you guys are on. As you're going and getting going on the road again, you start to feel like you're being watched by somebody. Start to feel the backs of your necks. The horses begin to kind of throw their heads around. But you don't see anybody at first.
Okay, I need to run real quick. I don't have my other character sheet. It's 2d8s, a d6, and a d4, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I know mine was being an undead, being a protector, being a coachman, and being needing to devour, right? Those were my things.
Devour, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Could I argue either coachman to roll like coachman to be aware of what's going on around the thing, or protector?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd allow that.
Which one would you allow?
I think you probably wouldn't, based on your disposition, you'd probably be noticing more of the horse's uneasiness at this time. So
Okay.
maybe that's what clues you off to it.
Okay, so roll off my coachman.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you want to make a case for a guardian.
No. I'll go with what you say. And then because I'm with the carriage, my wild die would be a d6.
Yes, it would be.
Okay, going to roll.
Always take a d6.
2. Oh, I got a 6. That's exploding.
Okay.
And a 1, so that is a 7 total.
7 total. Awesome. All right. So, do you want to relay this information to your anything to your crewmate?
Yeah. So what all have I gotten from this?
So far you've just noticed that the horses are uneasy and they're kind of starting to get a little jittery. So far.
Okay. I guess I'll stand up and slide the hatch. Are you there? Hello!
Everybody sit down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
The granny starts to like turn down her hearing aid.
Yeah, just stay seated. You guys don't need to get up every 5 seconds.
Horses are spooked. Something out here.
Okay, yeah, well, you heard him, guys. I have to go up there. Everybody stay seated in here. I'm gonna climb the ladder and open up the hatch and crawl on out. Because not only do I not want to be with the customers, as I've said many times in this adventure series, curious to my death.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
I'll
with
crawl
that,
on out, and I'll sit next to my comrade in the non-driving seat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If there is one.
In the past like co-pilot sort of seat.
Yeah.
Cool. All right,
Solomon.
So it is at this point, Solomon, noticing the horses' uneasiness, you start to look out into the forest, and you see something. You see somebody. It looks like a man in some darker clothing. He's about 150 yards out. Looks like he's peering out from behind a tree.
What do I know about this area, if anything? Are there known bandit groups? Are there friendly towns nearby? Are farmers?
Yeah, so you would know from your orientation that the area between cities is widely known to have roving bandits around, monsters aplenty, but mostly in this area, you wouldn't be expecting to see this close to town. You wouldn't be expecting to see too many of those monsters. You would be more so expecting to see the bandits in this area.
Okay,
and that was all part of your orientation training for your job.
Perfect. At that point, I'll probably reach behind me, kind of like in farmers' trucks, they have the shotgun mounted on the back of their cab. I'm gonna reach back and just grab my sword, and just kind of put it between my feet. Be like, "There, Morgan. We're being watched.
You are so strong.
What?
I'm just looking at that massive sword. Sorry, yeah, I look at the...
A friend of mine named Grunkle gave it to me.
Wow. I bet... Can't say anything about that without going way too meta than necessary.
Anywho.
You said it was an individual, not a group of people, correct?
Yes, just an individual. Just a single person peering behind a tree.
In dark clothing. Is the dark clothing like robes and cloaks that can conceal completely, or is it like dark rags?
It's more dark rags, is what would be what Solomon had seen. Morgan, as you turn to go and look at this person who Solomon has just pointed out to you, you see like a little bit of a brownish, a gray hood, but that's all you get to see before they duck behind the tree that they're standing behind.
That's not okay. That's not a beggar. That's not a test. That's a bandit. Prepare yourself. And I draw my weapon, which is
ladle.
I focus my energies. I'm preparing my burning anger to unleash on perhaps somebody who pisses me off by being an obstacle in my path.
Morgan says, "Prepare yourself." Solomon's like, looks at his sword in between his legs. He's like, "Not that sword."
Well, yeah, but you probably realize she's talking like more to herself.
So, anyways,
yeah. Does she have like a kitchen knife maybe that she might hold?
I'd say, yeah, as a gatherer, you probably have something that you would usually use to cut like things off, like cut vines and plants with while you're out gathering.
But that would likely be more of like a pair of scissors. And I guess I was going to make a joke right there, like my knife is my wand, but maybe my scissors that I like trim plants with and herbs and collect stuff with, maybe that's like my focus for my casting.
If you want it to be some scissors, that sounds good to me.
Kind of an offshoot.
Yeah, I don't mean to have it be like a weapon. I want like a focus to have something.
This reminds me of a very specific video. Only Pickles is going to get this, but a video that he took of me doing all the work at camp. Cutting weeds and shit, and him just singing and dancing behind me while I worked the entire time. And those scissors that I had in my back pocket.
Those were like shears, first off, and I'm talking more like
you just want
scissors,
like,
but yeah,
he's just got regular like office scissors.
God damn it, unpaid labor. Where
here I am with like a Diablo sword, and you're like, ching ching.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time making videos not helping you.
It's true.
Complaining about lunch not being soon enough.
Also true.
I have not changed.
No.
Yeah, okay. So I'll draw my like shearing scissors.
Shears, yeah.
And focus my burning anger to try and cast something of punishment if these people actually fuck with us.
Okay. And as you finish focusing your energies, you hear a whistle go out into the forest. Doo-doo, doo-doo.
Oh shit!
Do you know this song?
Bandits. No, that's Organized Bandits. You know it's Organized Bandits.
Well,
and
yeah,
as you're saying,
used to be a bandit.
Fuckers.
As you say, Organized Bandits, you start to see, you see from the other direction off of your path, you see some bandits on horseback start to come around the corner, come out from behind their trees.
Run or fight.
All right. You see 4 of them on horseback starting to make their way to you. You see one of them out in front with 3 kind of following up the rear. I'd say that they're probably around So the leader is at about 125 feet, and you can see that the other bandits that are trailing behind him are, 125 yards, and bandits behind him are 150 yards.
Well,
And
Morgan,
they're closing.
run a fight.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
Go ahead.
To the GM, not you.
Okay.
So our characters have been working together for a while.
Yeah. You guys have
Would
been
it be
through training
fair?
together.
Would it be fair to say that we have a few established plans?
I'd say so.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Then I want to just say that at least one of our plans is Operation Bitch Slap or Tactic Bitch Slap.
Classic us,
and
yeah.
how that works, the bitch slap is that if people are coming after us, I will throw fire at them. If they come too quickly, then you will go at them instead.
Okay, so deterrent is fire, but if they get too close, I do something about it.
Yeah. And like in this case, if they it originated when we were on a boat, so if they boarded our ship, then I would take the helm and start steering, and you would go slice them up. But until then, you hold the steering wheel on the ship.
Okay. Okay.
It didn't happen, but I had a dream it did, and I told you all about it until you learned
now
the
it's
tactic.
become a tactic, yeah, so.
Operation Bitch Slap.
Bitch Slap, is that the one with the orangutan?
Yes, it is. And I crawl up, can I crawl up onto like the top of the carriage?
Yes, you can.
Because I want to get into a position where I can just start, like, I can try and shoot fire at one of them.
Yeah, so you're kind of up in the kind of ballista nest area, so you have a 360-degree view around you.
I look at the ballista, huh? If only I knew how to use that.
All right, so bandits are closing in. The first bandit gets within 100 yards of you.
Oh, 100 yards?
100 yards, which
yeah,
is
125 out. Now he's 100 out.
Yep. So he, you remember the thought goes back into your head, remembering that at your orientation, that if they get within 100 yards, then they are considered hostile, and your rules of engagement are their foes.
I think you did say that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's making this up. I think he did say that.
You did say that, and I didn't take a note of that. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to burn anybody who crosses me, obviously. I'll write that down. That's within 100 yards, you said.
Yep.
Is.
So this first one has crossed that threshold. He is officially an enemy.
What's the range on Pickles' magic?
What's the range I have?
Pickles, I would say your magic probably.
Or does he know? He's like, I don't know. He just blasts a fireball. It goes like 5 feet, just falls. You're like, oh.
I would say.
I mean, authors.
So how long would you say that your character has been studying magics?
Ooh, yeah. Are you new to this, or like from childbirth, or what?
I want to say it's sort of a mix of both in a sense. Like, she's had magic since childbirth and a curiosity that will be her demise. That is her D4 trait. But I like to think that she's more of a rolling catastrophe often in her experience. Like the whole concept that she accidentally performed necromancy while trying to perform magic or basic healing is sort of the joke that I think makes the character funny. So I feel like her magic fire is as useful or disastrous or unuseful as the role makes you feel as our storyteller.
Okay. So
that's just me covering up my terrible writing of the system.
So I'd say, so let me run this by you. So would you say it's fair to say that within 25 yards, that's like easy any day you could hit something within there, and then as you get further out, it starts to deteriorate? Like maybe you start taking disadvantages when you get out to like 75 yards, 100 yards, starts to deteriorate your ability to hit them. Kind of like if you're throwing a ball, if you've been doing it from birth, you can kind of hit things that are getting close in range, but as you get further out, I kind of think of it as like throwing your fire spells will be like throwing a baseball, or a ball of some sort.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of thinking like almost like shotgun dynamics. Like the closer you are to me, the shittier it's gonna be when I explode fire in your face.
yes,
And like it's probably more. I'd say also lightning would be a fair thing here. Is like the further you out, the harder it is to control it in a straight line, perhaps.
Yep.
And so yeah, I'd say it's more accurate up close.
Okay. So let's give it like maybe within 25 is really easy. 50 yards is like starting to get to the limits of your range, but still there. But then you start to drop off at like 75 and 100, and severely drop off at 100.
Yeah, that seems generous, and I will take that.
All right, that's what we'll roll with then.
Yeah. So, like, is it whose turn is it here? They're catching up on us.
I'm driving.
So he's doing the driving right now. He's seeing these guys coming up, but you could tell that the main guy is at he just passed your 100-yard threshold, and the other three are following close behind him.
Okay, it's time to do the deterrent. Be the sparks to the flame, and just throw some fire. I know it's going to be very inaccurate here, but it just makes me happy to throw fire. We're not in a dry season, are we?
No, you can tell that this is a very moist landscape.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was the Harvest Festival, so I wasn't really sure. That's sort of like a wetter season.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a wetter season. Yeah. So okay, I'm not feeling too bad about starting forest fires. I'll just start throwing fire, mostly to piss off the horses, I guess. I don't want to hurt the horses at all costs, but like if it's going inaccurate, I'll throw it at their feet, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
I'd be happy with that. And also I should make a roll then, I guess.
Yes.
Sorry.
So go ahead and roll your fire, which is your D8, and because you're and then because you're still on the wagon, you get a D6 for your free die.
All right, I'm using plastic dice tonight. Different from normal. This is crimson blood red with black numerals. So we'll see if this betrays me tonight. I got a 3 on my magic and a 5 on my wild die. Okay. 5 is what I'll take.
All right, taking the 5. Awesome. So you so you throw your fireball. You see it sail out there, but it kind of veers a little bit to the right and strikes a tree, kind of in the tree line just before you got to his range. You see he kicks his horse harder and starts to make it run even faster towards the convoy. So at this point, the lead rider is at about 75 yards, and his 3 compatriots have just crossed the 100-yard line. You see one of the 3 in the back starts to knock an arrow.
Motherfucker. And arrows have better range than my fire. I'm going to cast fire again, obviously. Okay. But I also, if I can, I want to like emit my witch-like cackling, because I cackle whenever I cast spells. It makes me, I don't know why, it just tickles me. I want to like shout out to my comrade, do you know how to use the ballista? There's 4 of them, they're after us. Eat fire.
This reminds me when I almost said Wilfer. When Shifty and I were playing, Shifty plays as Wilfer in King's Crossing, if you know what that is. Shifty and I were playing through Solasta, Crown of the Magister. There was a character we met, an old hag woman who laughed she was an NPC, but she would just the entire battle. that's what I picture.
I like to think that I'm like a young hag. And if magic made you laugh, I would always be giggling, casting spells. And also if I could cast spells, and that's how
someone's hideous laughter.
Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay. This is my throwback to them as they are knocking their arrows.
So which one are you aiming for? Are you aiming for the lead guy still, or are you kind of aiming for one of the 3 in the back?
And one of the three in the back is not notching an arrow, right?
Yep. Yeah, one of them is.
The
one on the far right.
I'm going to take a gamble, and my dice are going to give me a critical failure. I'm certain of it now.
Okay.
But I want to go for the guy in the front, because if I can like knock him off his horse,
way to manifest that would disrupt success, everything. Bro.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you call out failure, then the gods bless your dice, your blood red dice, and they say, no, you're going to die.
I think that's how it works.
Okay, I got a 4 on my elemental dice, but I did get a 6 on my wild die. So I'm going to re-roll that.
So it explodes.
I'll just shut the fuck up then.
4. I got a 10.
Okay. All right. So a 10 at the guy
terrible.
That's at 75. All right. So I'll tell you right now that 75, I'm taking 1 off of your roll, and then at 100 yards, I'm taking 2 off the roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, not that it does me any favors, but like you could go a little bit more extreme with that.
Pickles is like, no, be mean to me, Daddy.
Well, I mean, I usually go.
Daddy?
I'm not. Okay, honestly, this is terrible of me. So I should shut up. Actually,
let the man cook. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Question: so, when he calls out about the ballista thing, could I be doing like evasive maneuvers or something now that I know that there's people back there?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd like to roll for Coachman then while you explain what he's doing. I didn't mean to cut you off with what he's doing. That was very rude of me. What I'm trying to say.
We're all being rude tonight.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All good. So you throw your fireball at the guy in the lead, and it you are pretty impressed with yourself because you hit him square in the chest. He gets knocked back, slowing his pace on the horse, but he's still coming at you.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to knock him off. I'm not actually a good wizard. I'm not like a skilled witch. I'm trying to get.
You see that his garments have started to catch fire, and you see that underneath of his rags is a breastplate of plate mail.
These are not just your everyday brigands.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a moment to call something out, or should I wait till next turn?
Yeah, you can still. I'll let you call something out. What do you want to call out?
Ladle. Sorry, I have intrusive thoughts.
No.
Sorry.
Such a strange SpongeBob thing to jump into.
So sorry. I have intrusive. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
good. Thank you for noticing it was SpongeBob, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Patrick doing that line.
Yes, it was Patrick.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Anyway,
men of culture.
Men of culture. What would you like to call out?
I watched season 1 through 3 of SpongeBob as a child.
When I was in Nashville at the hotel, I put SpongeBob on, and it was an episode I've never seen before. I was like, "Fuck, there are so many!" I thought I'd seen them all, and I don't know if there's
a new prequel show of SpongeBob.
Really? Oh my god! I'm sure there's no way I probably could ever watch them all. Anyway, sorry.
No, it'd be terrible.
Off topic.
It breaks continuity. Anyways, I call back and so I think that Solomon's used to Morrigan's frustrations in combat with her magic, and she mutters about it. She says, "What? They have plate armor?"
I rolled a 5 on my coachman ability of evasive maneuvers or combat driving. So I'm imagining
you're just serpentine.
Oh, really? With a 5? Sweet. No. I was thinking it was just normal driving. Combat? Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind. But after your first call out of does anybody know how to use a ballista? You see Dan pop his head up through the door. You need a ballista?
Yes. Dan, if I have enough word actions left.
Dan climbs up and he starts to get into the ballista. He has to like kind of cock things back. It wasn't preloaded or anything like that, so he's having to do the work of loading it. But he's starting to do that.
Yeah, Dan. Glad you're up here.
All right. And okay. So all right, so you're so the lead guy is still at about like 60 yards out, so he's slowed down significantly after that hit, leaving time for the other three to catch up to him. The archer who was knocking an arrow shoots his lets his arrow fly, and it's aimed at Morgan as he sees that that's the thing that's preventing them from getting up close and personal. So
Just imagining this. I don't even really know what you look like. I'm just imagining like an old hag or something, but like maybe like she's actually 20, but she just looks like a 70-year-old hag out there going.
Oh,
I'd like to think that she's like in her early 20s, with the degree that she has not mastered her magic and the degree of impulsiveness, and devil may care attitude. And also because I generally think that self-taught witches and wizards would probably be those who die young. So I imagine she also has like charcoal black hair, if that helps you.
Charcoal's a great
everywhere.
color. My newest suit is a charcoal suit. Charcoal's a great color.
Nice suit.
Yeah, thank you.
Charcoal's very handsome.
So the archer lets his arrow fly. It looks like it would have hit Morgan right square in the chest, but because of your driving, the arrow narrowly avoids her. So
avoids her. Oh.
He's my protector.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm already dead. Never mind. Just has arrows sticking out of him.
Morgan,
I'm dead. I know.
Those three are now within about 75 yards. Because you guys have kept on going, they're kind of starting to pull in kind of behind you as like because the horses are trying to outpace yours. That's carrying a tank. All right. All right. So you see them getting closer. What would you like to do? Morgan, let's start with you.
Morgan would like to do a stunt. And this is sort of drawing on a mechanic from, I guess, the Savage World Supers area, is performing a function with your magic that might not be like what is written, and giving yourself a penalty, usually like -2 to -6, depending on how the storyteller feels. Yep. I'd like to do like a wave of fire. So depending on how much you disagree with my ability of fire, like if I'm just like, I shoot fire bits, I want to try and make like a wave of fire to make a line that's like perpendicular to the way they're coming towards us, you know? With the goal of trying to spook the horses that they're on. Mm-hmm. They're probably trained horses. I get that. So that's why I don't know, but that's my goal, is rather than to attack the riders, I want to try and spook the horses to maybe make the horses like buck around and maybe launch one of them off, or at least get slowed down a bit to buy time for Dan the man who's on the ballista.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll for that.
Okay. D8 and a D6. I'm not really trusting you guys. My dice, the blood crimson. Oh, fuck me. 1 on my elemental die and a 6 on my wild die.
That explodes.
Explosion. I'm not pleased with that D8, to be honest. A 1. Okay, 7.
Okay. All right, so 7.
Take my sparklers.
Okay. All right. So, you got a 7. I'm going to. So I rolled I rolled a dice as well to see. I rolled a d6 to see what I would take away from that roll. I got a 3, so that's still a 4. And how far away are you trying to put this wall? Just like in between you, or are you trying to try to throw it out to where they're at?
I want to try and throw it out at the horse's feet so that they'll like I'm trying to mind games with the horses for some reason because I don't feel confident taking on all of these people at once. And so I want to make like the horses like do the thing where they're like panicking, freaking out, and the riders might have to make a check or fall off, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't actually know that much about horses other than that my wife knows horses.
Chat agrees. Chat says horses, even trained horses, would be afraid of fire. But
yes,
that's
fire at their feet too. I want to make them be like at like I don't know.
But also the dice might just say these are badass horses who run through fire. Yeah.
Yes,
that's what I'm worried about.
All right, so okay, I'm going to see what happens. Okay.
I burn away at the fur, and it reveals plate armor underneath their fur.
The plate armor. They are mechanical.
Man,
so
because the armor burned away.
Yeah. So
or the armor.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
So you see as you throw this flame out, it makes a line across the ground, but this is all damp, like mossy ground, so it doesn't really catch and like stay sustained. But it certainly does spook the one of the rider's horses, one of the back three, the one on the far left. So not the archer, but the one on the far left. His horse does the whinny, and the other ones just go straight through.
What does it do?
Oh, right.
There you go. Hey, we're Class A role players, all right? We got this.
Hey. All right. It whinnies and it bucks back, and the rider stays on, but he is now hanging off the side. He's like loosely on the horse right now. He's kind of taking some time to kind of figure himself out at 75 yards. The other two horses that were in the row of three are continuing to make their way forward. They're about at 50 yards now. And the captain, or well, the lead is now within 50 yards. Solomon, what would you like to do?
I think I'd just try. At this point, I don't know what's going on back there, but based off my knowledge, I'm assuming we're pulling a tank full of people, full weight, heavy loaded. So probably not pulling away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I most likely want to do is just make it as difficult for them to hit and board. So that would be serpentine-like tactics, I think would be the best bet to go. So could I do another coachman roll to try and do some kind of maneuvers?
Let's do it.
All right.
Before you roll, can I ask, because we've trained together, and he has some skill at our D6 is what we trained on for this role. Like it wasn't our main passion, but he's experienced with this more so than the whole steering the ship thing that I mentioned earlier, because we've been traveling together. So is there any chance he could get a bonus because he is... Oh, damn it, I just lost it.
Yes, there is a bonus for doing.
Can you just get a bonus?
No, I had a reason there, and then I went through too many descriptions and I lost it. God damn it.
Well, while you're thinking of that, Wrath, you want to give us a roll?
I'll give you a roll. 4 is the best I got.
All right. So, you're still driving along. You're doing some sort of jerky movements to try to keep them off you, but nothing like...
The horses aren't moving. I'm... There's a coach behind me, but I'm like, ooh. It's like when
you're doing a whole lot more than you're actually.
It's like
doing.
when people play video games and they're actually dodging, and you're like, "What are you doing? Move the joysticks."
I was gonna say like a bonus because we've done this operation before, and because you're actually specialized in driving, that Operation Bitch Slap would be. But
it was a good try.
Yeah. And then we go to a main man Dan.
Fucking arrow me, bro. Come at me. I'll burn your arrow.
Morgan's just standing in front of the ballista. I can take it.
Not the ballista, actually. Maybe I should
shoot through me. It'll be so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Dan is going to. He's now got the ballista loaded, and he's going to try to take a shot at the guy who's almost fallen off of his horse in the back three.
I mean,
I'm just ganging up on this poor guy.
All right. He got a 6 on his wild die. That's a 10. Okay. So you see him take aim with the ballista, and he looses the ballista, and it strikes the bandit who was falling off of his horse from the initial fire attack, and he plants one square in the chest, falls off the horse. That enemy's dead. You see the archer is beginning to knocking another arrow, and this time with more. Now that he's closer in, he's not as careful about lining up his shots, but he's going to take another shot.
Bring it, brah.
All right, and he misses again. You see this arrow.
You're welcome.
Zooms right over the head of both Dan and Morgan. Just shoots right over the top of his head. Their heads. And you see the lead now is getting within 25 yards of your carriage, and the archer and the other bandit are both getting closer as well.
There's 3 left.
So there's only
one in front, 2 in back.
Yep. And there's only one archer.
And there's only one archer left. Yes. So the archer's on the right. The center guy, he hasn't done anything yet. He's just been charging at you guys. And the captain hasn't done anything yet. You see that he has a sword, but he's within 25 yards now. You see he has not a sword, a mallet, like or a mace. Mace, that's the word for it. By his side. So so the 3 of them are still trying to get up close.
Okay. I'm gonna trust Dan to go for the person I want him to go for, and I'm going to target the one that's closest to boarding us.
Okay.
I mean, I said Operation Bitch Slap. He doesn't know it, so what am I gonna do? Yeah. So I go for the guy closest to boarding us with his mallet mace, and I'm gonna just like do a burst of flame in his face, a burning hands, if you will.
All right. Go ahead and roll for it.
Oh, right. I keep moving my mouse over like I'm going to roll something. Okay. This is not the time to betray me. I get different dice next game. These guys are untrustworthy. An 8 on my elemental die after so many ones.
Reroll
I got a
it.
5 on my wild die. I'm going to reroll the...
Yeah, explodes.
And a 5. I was expecting a 1. 13.
13. All right. You just let this guy have it. He's within 25 yards. You've done this all day, every day, and you send a stream of fire into his face. It looks like a flamethrower coming off the back of this thing. And you see him just getting torched. You even aimed it perfectly so that the horse isn't getting hit, but you see his face is just taking all of it. There's no armor that can save him there, so he screams out in pain, grabs for his face, lets go of the reins, and falls off the horse. You see him like rolling off as you guys are making your way. And you see his compatriots. The one with the archer peels off to go and help his commander, and you see one of them still is still going.
Oh, we fucked up the commander, I bet. Or they're just good people, but they're bandits, so they're not.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I don't think I have any more actions. I think it's the coach's turn.
Yeah, that's
Solomon?
about it. So Solomon, what would you like to do? You hear some screaming behind you.
And cackling.
And cackling.
So the usual.
The usual cackling and some screaming as well.
Yeah.
So actually that's pretty usual.
A successful usual, though. Like that's the like symptom of it's the usual, but it's not like a failure usual. It's if you hear people screaming and then also Morgan cackling, that means
I'm gonna come to a full stop.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
All right. So you're coming to a full stop. Do you want to just like stay in the same line? Do you want to turn the wagon around or anything like that? Or just stopping, just slow the horses down and come to a stop?
Probably just full stop.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, Dan is winding up the crossbow and trying to get that next bolt loaded in there.
Fuck him up.
So you see the archer with his captain.
Like I say, fuck him up, and then immediately it stops and I fly back.
So he's getting Dan's working on the ballista, but in the meantime, the final bandit gets up close on. He dismounts from the horse and starts to run at the carriage. He's now within like 10 feet, starting to go towards the horses in the front, trying to attack your means of transportation. About 100 yards back, you see that the archer is trying to help his captain up.
I mean, I burnt him up. He's gonna need to recover now. This is a bad time for him.
So you see the bandit who's up on your ride. He's kind of trying to stay low so that he's out of the ballista range, but he's making his way up. He comes around the corner to try to take a swing at the horse. He's not quite there yet. Is there anything you would like to do, Solomon?
Yeah, at this point, I'm up on the carriage. I can't find the orangutan. Did you bring the orangutan? You said this was the plan with the orangutan.
The orangutan's about to attack our horse.
The orangutan's attacking the horse.
I don't know if I see that, but that's what I want to say.
The red god sends the regards.
Why are you talking like that?
And the bandit goes to take a swing and hits one of the. Actually, does he hit? We'll see. All right, yeah, he hits. He hits one of the straps that's connecting the horse to the carriage. So he slices that in half, and he looks like he's about to go and try to. It looks like he's trying to get the horses off of the carriage.
Do I hear the horses getting fucked with?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like up on the carriage looking around for an orangutan. I feel I'm not. What's that meme? The guy when he's got his jacket and he's just like looking around like. Where do I
John Travolta.
The John Travolta meme.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking like up here. Orangutan. I'll see this. I just want to grab a ballista bolt and just hurl it at the bandit.
All right.
Don't you have your claymore in your hands though?
Yeah, but that's not good for throwing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, is he that far that you need to throw, or? Oh, because you said you climbed up on.
He's on top.
The roof.
Yeah.
I'm looking for this orangutan because I was like, "Is this the plan with an orangutan?" You're like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I didn't expect you to say yes." Now I gotta find an orangutan.
Mummy. I said stupid things.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so I will grab one of the ballista bolts and be like, "Hey, my horse!" And I'll hurl a ballista bolt at him as best I can.
Hell yeah.
Would this fall under my protector? Guardian?
Yeah, I'd say you've got the protector's adrenaline running through you right now.
Alright. Got a D8.
Can I ask a question about your undead protector?
Are you gonna argue for another bonus?
No.
Can you have a bonus because?
Oh, okay. Because so you say undead protector, and the thing that pops up in my mind is like an Egyptian undead creature, and obviously you're not a skeleton, but javelins do seem like a prominent part. And I was just kind of curious, what culture your character comes from. Then, that you would be having your skills in. I could see ballista makes sense in a lot of different cultures. If it was you were from the gladius culture where having javelin throwers was like a normal thing.
God, that's good. Ballista, and my instinct is to go Viking because. But that would be right? No, it would be like throwing axes and shit. But if I wanted to mix things up, because I like RPing and I like playing different things than normal, I always go the Viking route. So it'd be cool to play something different than normal. Would I go Spartan?
You can certainly go Spartan.
Spartan style, which they definitely would use spear and shield type deal, and sword.
Yeah.
So maybe take my spear and hurl it. So with this, are you asking for a favored weapon? Is basically what you're talking about there, Pickles?
Oh no, I was just kind of exploring your character. What is the flavor of your style? What kind of weapons does your character feel most comfortable with? And then as the GM, he can say, obviously, well, you're a protector. That has nothing to do with your actual combat style.
True.
You pick up weapons to protect.
Yeah.
I was just really curious.
For flavor, I think if I was going with a Spartan style, I would go shield, sword, spear.
Yeah, short sword. Yeah, sort of like the gladius front lines, sort of.
Yeah, which doesn't really fit my image because I have a giant sword. So maybe.
But why not have that as well? I feel like the Greco-Roman gladiator character has many weapons.
Yeah, I don't have to fit that specific.
From Warhammer.
Yeah, why don't I go with a giant sword and javelins? That would be my preferred.
Sounds good.
Methods of attack.
You're like a Guts from Berserk.
Not familiar.
I don't understand that reference, and I know enough to say that Wrath and I should not know about that.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know that one. Maybe I won't do my research then.
That one and the Goblin Fighter or Goblin Slayer one.
Hoplite? Hoplite. That's a good word for it there, chat.
Yeah.
That was Greek hoplites.
I didn't want to back you into a corner. I was just curious where your character's thematic lines are. And wasting time as we're in combat.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Go ahead, give me a roll.
Well, I got a 5. God, I roll ass. Pickles is getting all the explosion.
I was getting a lot of ones. My wild die is great.
The 1 and exploding, yeah. I got a 5 is my highest. A 5 and a 1.
A 5 and a 1. All right. Okay. So with a 5, you throw your spear and it immobilizes him, pins his foot to the ground.
My horse.
But he's still able to make actions and take movement to go and attack things.
It's muddy ground.
He's just with a spear through his foot.
Damn it! Why'd you do this to me, dick?
Morgan.
What the hell, man?
He's attacking my horse.
You can see that the commander is telling the archer go, go, go. And the archer's back up on his horse and making his way towards you. He's within about 50 yards now. All right. The archer knocks back an arrow. You guys are immobile at the moment. So.
Because we're locked in a hut?
All right. And he takes a shot. And he hits Dan in the shoulder.
Motherfucker.
Dan takes the arrow in the shoulder, and he is unable. He drops down in pain, clutching at his shoulder. He's not able to fire the ballista this turn. Okay. Morgan, what would you like to do?
Is in his shoulder.
Yeah, it's in his shoulder right now. He's screaming in pain. Ah! With the arrow in his shoulder.
Okay. Well, there's not a lot I can do that would take seconds to help him. Because I believe I have herbalism more than actual
more than
healing magic.
Healing. Yeah.
I don't have ray of healing, right?
No. You're more of a herbal healer. So
I'm gonna channel all of my rage against my comrade who kicks ass, and I'm gonna shout out, "Rip him to shreds, Solomon!" I wanted to say Kingsman. Rip him to shreds, Solomon! And then I'm going to shoot fire at the one that's coming to me. The archer you said that got on the horse.
Yep, he's charging. He's making his way towards you.
This isn't like a normal I'm trying to avoid anything. I'm pissed off now because they've hurt people and because they tried to hurt a horse. And so 2 wrongs towards living things makes a right. And I'm just going to fire out. If it singes the horse, I'm going to feel bad, but I don't care right now.
Okay.
Please try to work for me, dice. Okay, so a 3 on the wild die, but I got another 8 on the elemental die.
Keep it going.
1s and 8s with this guy.
Keep it going.
Okay. You could do another 1 like you like to do, but maybe another 8. 4. 12.
All right, 12. All right, you send out angered by the fact that they're starting to hurt your companions. You throw a bolt out and nails this guy square in the face, and he is it just knocks him right off the horse. He is not moving when he hits the ground. There's another one out of the fight. Boom, headshot. But you see his clothes are
fatality.
His clothes have caught fire. They're starting to singe his body as it goes, but he's not moving, so you can tell he's gone.
So that's the archer, but not the commander.
Not the commander, and you still have a guy who's pinned up in front, but he's about to go and make another attack motion towards the horses. He swings down and...
I mean, he's going to die in a few seconds due to a giant sword being
maybe
joined to his body, so he's going to be...
and he swings down, connects again. This time he slices through some of the leather straps that are holding the one horse in. Your rightmost horse now is only held in by the reins that you have up in the driver's seat.
Oh wait, no, I climbed out. I'm not holding him still. I'm just holding the horse up off the ground.
They're probably tied. You probably have a
hitch.
I came to a stop, so yeah, I probably threw him over the hitch.
Probably tied him off, yeah.
Yeah, hitch,
all right.
yeah.
And all right, Solomon, what would you like to do?
At that point, I will jump onto landing on this person. His feet are pinned, so I'm basically just Spartan kicking him as I come down, off the carriage. Not that he's on the carriage, but away from the carriage is what I'm trying to say. So I'd like to Spartan kick him away as best I can.
Okay. All right, go ahead and do that.
Okay. Am I allowed to use my protect? What?
Well, because he's a human, and you're like a large undead creature, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It feels like you'd be body slamming from the angle of which the
right,
but you have on.
But body slamming doesn't sound as cool as just coming down.
Well, yeah, but you could dive down with your knee going down into his solar plexus or something.
Right, but to me, it's cooler to come down with a flying kick. He's pinned, so I'm trying to kick him away so that his foot stays, but his body goes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just a dick.
Let me do what I want to do.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Finally, I got an 8 on my D8, so I get to reroll.
yeah.
It's a 2, so I got a 10.
All right. Well, yeah, you kick him, and his foot at the ankle, you just hear this terrible just.
I'm dismembering a lot of things.
Yeah, you are. And his like foot stays on the ground, his foot is being pulled out and splayed in half as he gets pulled through the spear as he's kicked back a good 5 feet. You just see him fly back, and he's wind's knocked out of him. He's like on the ground.
Still alive?
Still alive.
Okay.
Barely.
I don't know how much I can do, but I want to grab my spear so that next turn I'm going to hurl that at him and then go to engage the ones coming at us from behind with my sword.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. So that's him.
This makes me miss my character called Deus. He was a pit fighter who would just use like 14 different weapons in combat.
Warhammer Pit Fighter is really cool.
Yeah.
Dan breaks the arrow off in his shoulder, leaves the head in his shoulder, but he breaks the arrow shaft off. Crawls up to the ballista, looses the arrow that he had prepared towards the captain in plate armor, and explodes. All right. He shoots the arrow, and it essentially goes in at the thigh level across both legs, and both legs of the captain just go flying off. He's severed at like the thighs, and he falls to the ground. He's just screaming out in pain, but he's still alive, but he's on the ground, like bleeding out right now. And as the other one that you just knocked to the ground, the other one that you just Spartan kicked, he attempts to get up, but that's about all the energy he has before he falls unconscious due to the pain. Then, all right. So you guys have cleared out the bandits. We have one unconscious up ahead and one that's bleeding out about 100 yards back. That is where we will leave it off.
I want to end with just standing over him, impaling my spear, and then looking back, I'm like, yeah, I killed him. And then I look back and I just see like 3 dead guys, bodies burning, horses neighing and running off. And I'm like, oh, wow.
And Morgan is just like smoking from a pipe, just like, yeah, that was good. That was good.
And that's where we call it. Huge thanks to Adis. Thank you so much for running these little mini-series. Hopefully you're having fun as the DM.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys don't know, first time DM. He's doing it right here on the podcast. So thank you, Adis, for letting us be your first.
Hell yeah.
And with that, quick shout out and huge thanks to Pickles, the host and DM of Strange Giant Golden Ridge, also one of the fine hosts of a podcast called And I Took That Personally. More on that. If you watch more episodes, we'll talk about it. But I think that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. No one at the table to follow this, so this was the show for today. Tune in Wednesday with the Battle Buddies, us here. We'll be hopefully wrapping up a game called Labyrinthian.
No. Oh god!
I just finished editing the last episode, and the whole last half hour is me just oh no. I was like, God, this is painful, but I feel like people might enjoy it.
They'll love our pain. It's just I hate that game.
One of my favorite moments was Adis and I just sitting here for like 15 minutes waiting for Pickles to come back because we both died and Pickles had to go AFK, so we're just sitting here watching Pickles. He comes back and immediately almost just runs off into the water, and we're both like, no, that, no.
I'm
if you
terrible at these games.
If you guys are curious what we're talking about, go watch the series. It's great. Labyrinthine. You can find it all on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
That's all I got. Join us in the Discord where we hang out and talk post games and in between games and in between live streams. So you can find all of us there. And that's about all we got. So huge thanks to the cast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Huge thanks to the viewers, those of you on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick tuning in, watching this. We appreciate it. Thank you. You guys make the shows go round, or whatever they say. I don't know. Feel important. You're special. And we'll see you all in the next one. Later.
Cheers.
I love you.